All right, so this is it. This is the big day. This is the last day for our blue math book. If you notice, I'm jumping around. We're jumping all the way up to lesson 26. We are going to work on a few proportions. We all know what proportions are. Today we're going to work on some proportions that are going to be part, whole, percent, hundred, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You've seen some of it in your daily math. So let's start with example 1. It says 5 of the 25 girls on Alden Middle School soccer team are 7th grade students. Find the percentage of 7th graders on the team. Show 2 different ways of solving for the answer. One of the methods must include a diagram or picture model. We're going to go ahead and just do proportions for today, so I want you to go ahead and make a proportion. Okay. We know that proportions are sometimes can be what we call part over whole. So we would say, like, I did 1/2 of my assignment, or I did 2/3, part over whole. Now, you guys already know that this is always going to be my percent, and we know percent always goes over 100. So these are the kind of proportions we're going to look at. So let's go ahead and reread this and see if we can pick out the parts that we need. If you notice right here, it says 5 of the 25 girls. Well, 5 is part of the girls, right? So that would go on top. 25 is the whole group. So 5 out of 25, and I want to know what's the percentage. Well, we've been working on proportions over and over. Most of you know how to solve this. You can either cross multiply and divide by 25, or some of you notice that you can multiply across here and do the same here. So go ahead and see if you can solve this problem for me. All right, so what I did is I noticed I could take 25, and 25 goes into 100 4 times, so I did it this way. So I found out that the question is, find the percentage of 7th graders on the team. Well, the percentage is 20%. All right, let's go down to example number 2. Once again, we're going to set up a proportion. We're going to do part over whole. And we know that this is going to be our percent. 10% we know always goes over 100. All right, of the 25 girls on the Alden Middle School soccer team, 40% also play on a travel team. How many of the girls on the middle school team also play on a travel team? All right, so it says here of the 25 girls. Are the 25 girls part or whole? Of the 25 girls, well, that would be the whole team. So we'll put 25 here. It's the whole group. We have 40%. Percent we know always goes over 100. So now we have a proportion to solve. How are you going to solve this? Go ahead and solve it. So once again, I noticed that 25 goes into 100 again, 4 times. So that means I have to do the same thing up here. So something times 4 is 40. Oh, that would be 10. So 10 out of the 25 girls. How many of the girls on the middle school team also play on a travel team? 10 girls. All right, let's do some more practice. Go ahead and turn your page, please. All right, let's look at example number 3. Once again, the Alden Middle School girls soccer team won 80% of its games this season. If the team won 12 games, how many games did it play? All right, so let's go ahead and set up our proportion. We know that this is going to be part over whole. This is percent, and percent always goes over 100. All right, let's reread this. They won 80%. Where does the percent go? Over 100. Ooh, 12. Is 12 part or whole? If the team won 12 games, if they won 12, is that all of the games they played? Well, they probably lost some games. So we'll say that the 12 obviously has to be part of the games. So we need to find out how many games they play all. Solve your proportion. How can you solve this one? Some of you are going to cross multiply and divide. Some of you are going to maybe see other ways you can solve it. So let's see. I don't really think 12 goes into 80 very easily, and I could reduce this, but I'm going to go ahead and do this just in case some of you forgot how to do this. Cross multiply. 12 times 100 is 1200. Cross multiply, and I have to divide by 80. All right, well, I'm going to divide by 80 here. Let's see. 80 does not go into 1. It does not go into 2. It does go into 121 time. And 80 does go into 400, I know, evenly 5 times. So I found out the answer is 15. Now, this was not the only way to solve this. Okay, some of you actually knew to cross out zeros and things like that, but we all should come up with the final answer of how many games did they play. They played a total of 15 games. Well, they won 12. They played 15. Looks like they might have lost 3, doesn't it? All right, so we're going to go ahead and we are actually going to skip this. I know you're sad. We're going to go ahead and flip our books over. All right, let's look at problem number 2. It says a sweater is regularly $32. It is 25% off the original price this week. Okay, so the regular price. That to me would be the whole price, right? Because that's what the price was originally. Would the amount the shopper saved be considered part, whole, or the percent? Well, if I'm saving money, it's obviously not the whole part because I'm not paying the whole part. And it's not really asking for the percent. So the part that I'm saving would be part of the cost. All right, well, let's see if we can solve it. It says, how much would a shopper save by buying this sweater this week? Well, let's set up our proportion. Remember what goes here? Part over whole, and percent always goes over 100. Okay, let's see. We have the percent was 25. The price was $32. Regular price. Is that the regular would be the whole price? Yeah, there we go. We'll put it there. Now I want you to solve this. See how you can get this problem solved for me. All right, well, there's a couple ways, obviously, to solve this. I don't think 32 goes into 100 evenly, so I couldn't do that. I could cross multiply and divide if I wanted to. This time I'm going to do something different. I noticed, because I know my math facts, that this can actually be reduced. These can both be reduced by 25. I'm going to reduce this to 1, and 25 goes into this 4 times. So now I have a new fraction of 1/4. 4 goes into 32 8 times, which means I can multiply by 8 here on the top. And 1 times 8 is 8. So how much would a shopper save? The shopper is going to save a total of $8. All right, moving down to problem 3. A pair of jeans was 30% off the original price. The sale resulted in $24 discount. Oh, this is the discount. So that's just part of it, because I got $24 taken off. Is the original price of the jeans considered the whole, the part, or the percent? Well, if I'm paying the original price before they take anything off, that would be considered the whole price. So when we come down here, what was the original cost of the jeans before the sale? Well, let's solve this. Part over whole and percent over 100. All right, well, let's see. A pair of jeans is 30% off. Percent always goes over 100. The sale resulted in $24 discount. Well, I already put up here that $24 was my discount, so that's what I got taken off. So that would not be the whole price of the jeans. Boy, I wonder how much these jeans are going to be if I got $24 off. That's the part. All right, so let's see if we can solve this. You can either cross multiply and divide, or see if you can come up with another method. So what I'm going to notice is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cancel out these zeros. So I've reduced this to 3/10. And now I can see that I can take 3 into 24 8 times, which means down here I'm going to take 10 times 8, which is $80 for the jeans. Wow, that was the original price, was $80. Thankfully, let's just see. How much did we actually pay for the jeans? We got $24 off. Let's just look over here. I would say $56 is still a lot of money for a pair of jeans. Okay, we're going to move on. All right, so if you notice, I turned some pages, and I'm still in lesson 26, but I'm going to jump all the way over here to the problem set with me. So if you would jump over there with me. We're still going to deal with proportions. We have been dealing with proportions that look like this. Part over whole equals percent over 100. Okay, that's important to know. But you also notice that sometimes we don't always get a part over whole. So if you look at problem number 1, what is 15%? Okay, that's a percent of 60. Well, is 60 my part or my whole? So sometimes when we have these problems with is and of, we sometimes remember our proportions to look something like this. And it's kind of something you might just have to memorize. So go ahead and write this down in your book as well. Sometimes you're going to be given the words is over of equals percent over 100. And let me show you what I mean. So if I look here at problem number 1, and I would make my proportion, I already know that 15% goes over 100. That we always know. Now I have this what is, so the what is, I don't know what the is. 15% of 60. So 60 is my of, and from what Mrs. Haupt just showed us here, of goes on the bottom. So now I'm ready to solve the problem. Cross multiply and divide, or maybe you might want to reduce. I'm going to reduce this. I noticed that these both can be divided by 5. 5 goes into 15 3 times, and 5 goes into 100 20 times. Now what's nice is I can take 20 times 3 to get 60, which means up here I can take 3 times 3, and I just found out the answer is 9. What is 15% of 60? 9. Let's try this problem number 2 and see if you're kind of catching on. Remember, don't forget this. Let's make a proportion. If 40% of a number is 56, what was the original number? Okay, percent, that's easy. That always goes over the 100. If 40% of a number, is 56. Where does my is go? Is goes on top, so we're going to put it up there like that. Now I have to solve my proportion. I'm going to cancel out these zeros again because I think that sure helps me a lot. And then you know what? I'm either going to find out what 4 times equals 56, or maybe this time I'll multiply like this. 56 times 10, I know is 560. And if I divide by 4, let's see what happens. Maybe you guys are practicing your division here with me. Bring down my 0. Looks like my answer is going to be 140. And that's correct. Okay, obviously I want us to practice this just a couple more times, so we're going to actually turn our page. And I want you to go ahead and turn your page. Crazy how many pages we're looking at. To this page right here. I would like for you to write this in your book. Is over of equals percent over 100. I want you to set up proportions right here under each one of these little problems. And I want to see if you can maybe figure out where the numbers go for each of these and solve them. Go ahead and pause your video so that you can do that. All right, well, hopefully you paused your video. 60%. Percent goes over 100. This says of 300. Of goes on the bottom. Some of you might have noticed you could multiply here times 3. Multiplied here times 3. And your answer here is 180. On this one, you should have put 60% over 100. of blank. I don't know what the of is, so that should have been blank. So 60% of something, and we usually say equals or is 300, so you should put the 300 up here. I found out that you can multiply by 5 up here, multiply by 5 down here, and your final answer should have been 500. All right, last one. Let's see how you did. Ooh, this one was a tough one. Well, percent is what I don't know, so that had to be blank. There's no is or of, but it says 60 out of 300. So this could be more of a part over whole one. I'm saying 60 out of 300. 60 is my part. 300 is my whole. Oh, there we go. Multiply by 3. Something times 3 is 60. The answer is 20%. Okay, so hopefully you guys can kind of, the things you need to remember these proportions, and they will help you on solving your work today.